First of all, welcome to the Tuesday Talks with me. And in this particular video, what we're going to talk about is uh, we're going to look at the Google hacks for marketers, and that's what I want to basically talk to you about. It's primarily the Google search hacks that I've been using for, I can say, roughly about um, 7.5 years or so. And most of these hacks came out of a need to speed up myself, and it came with the kind of workload that I used to handle. Right, so at one point of time, it was a three-man workload, which ultimately reduced to just me handling all of it. And I was actually compelled, and I was kind of forced to basically try to find new ways to manage my work. So this is where I started using some of these Google tricks to actually speed up my work. So I'm going to share a few of them in this. The first one is obviously the typically the advanced search. I do not know how many of you have actually used it, but I'm going to drill down into the basics and give you an idea on how it looks like, what it is, and then we can go forward from there, right? So let's look at some of the brands. We'll pick up any brand. You can pick up any brand under the sun, and let's actually Google it, right? So firstly, in most cases, what I've seen is, unless you are so let's say, oh, this is for um, finding news related to a particular brand, right? So if you want to find news related to a particular brand between an X month or an X range or a time range, you will be able to do that. You don't have to actually just Google the brand and search endlessly, right? So that's the wrong way of searching. There are alternative ways, and there are ways to basically speed up. So let's say you're looking for a news of a particular brand in a certain month, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So first, what you do is you will need to actually go to google.co.in. Let's say if it is country wise, then you would have to go to google.co.in. Make sure that you're not on google.com. Okay, and then that's when we'll go and we'll start drilling into it. So let's start off. I'm going to basically type google.com right now, and I'm going to show you the difference. So in most cases, what people tend to do is just type google.com, right? So this is the kind of screen they get. Okay, so this is the screen they get, and the next thing that you do is you search for a company news. So let's say in this case, I'm searching for the news from Singapore. Okay, just to give you a general view. So I'm looking for Singapore, and I'm just going to type Singapore, and this is what I get. Okay, so I'm getting stuff like Singapore, Wikipedia. I'm getting people also ask Singapore part of China. Now, this is not what I want. What I want is, as a marketer, I would want to have news that is useful to me. So I'm going to shift to news section. There is a news section. You can click to that. Now, the next thing that I want is, this is all got news from everywhere, all around the world, right? So I don't really want the news from all around the world. I want news about Singapore from Indian news channels, right? So I don't want to basically explore everywhere else. So what I do for this particular instance is, or this particular scenario, is I go over here top. You can see it's written google.com. You change that, and you basically make it google.co.in. So you basically change it there. Do not basically remove the search and all of that. In case you do that, then you will have to redo the whole process again. Okay, so I'm just going to type dot. I'll remove the m, and I'll just type dot in. Okay, so just like this, as you can see, it's google.co.in, and I hit enter. So when I hit enter, I again get pretty much all the news that is out there. Nothing looks like as if it is changed, but it's changed. It's changed under the hood. So it's changed over here. So you can go to tools, and you can see that there is now an option in the advanced. So this is basically for advanced search. You use the tools option. You can see that there is the web, and you have the country India, right? Let me show you, since we have not seen this earlier, I'm going to go back, shift it to .com, and show you as well. I'm going to just shift to .com. All right, so I'm going to go to tools. Let's click on that. Yeah, and I can see all news, and I can see blogs. So if you notice, when I went to basically the global google.com, I get to see all news and blogs. But if I basically go to google.co.in, I see all news and India. And that's what I want. I want specifically news that is covered about Singapore in Indian news channels or in Indian websites. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shift it to google.co.in, and you can try this with any brand under the sun. Okay, it's not that unless you're a local brand. If you're a local brand, this step can be avoided completely, because your name is probably not known in international markets. But in case you are well known in international markets, this is when you kind of do the filtration. But this is something that I did when I used to spot news or track news at one point of time, or keep a tab on your competitors, keep a tab on what competitors news is. So I don't have to actually browse or buy a newspaper or buy a lot of softwares or such. What I do is I basically track the news like this, and I use another tool altogether to basically send me any kind of news that kind of comes. In fact, you can do this with this tool as well, here as well. So I'm going to show you something like this. So let's do that, and then we basically head over to news. It's google.co.in. I head to tools, and in tools I basically select from country India. So when I do country India, all the news that is not basically from India is going to basically be removed. Okay, so all you can see over here is, you can see the print, you can see Reuters India, you can see Dave Discourse, you can see Times of India, Hindustan Times, Live Mint, and that's what you get to see, right? Now what I want to do is I want to filter this further. Now let's say Singapore, as part of Singapore, I'm actually searching on or trying to figure out about tourists, and I'm trying to figure out about travel, and that's what I want to cover as part of my search, right? So what I do in this case is I have a look at all the other elements that are out here, which is all news and blogs. Then there is obviously the recent, which is the time range that you can filter it on. So let's explore this first and then move on to that. So we have all news and blogs. So I can shift to blogs, and I can see all the blog articles that are there, and they are all from Indian websites, right? So you basically get an idea, uh, primarily because these are all Indian servers. So you basically get to see all of that. And then after that, I can shift the timeline. So let's say I'm shifting again back to all news, and I want to shift or I want to focus primarily on the timeline. So let's look at a time which was last year, May. Okay, so let's cover that month and see what are the kind of news coverages that came in the month of May. And what I do for that is, since you can see over here, there are limited timelines. You can see past year, past month, but then you have custom range, which allows you to actually go all the way back and see for the month of May what was the news and what was it about Singapore. So let's have a look at May 2019. I'm just going to scroll to that. I'm going to go click on first and 31st. I'm going to hit go, and there it is. All right, so you can see all the news about Singapore that came out in May 2019. Okay, and all of it is related to Singapore, so it's not necessarily it's limited to travel right now. It includes politics, it includes travel, it includes pretty much everything, right? So now what I want to do is I want to filter it down. I want to basically cut down, and this is a technique that I use in order to filter down the content to the relevant content that I want, which is to do with, let's say, travel. So let's say we're tracking Singapore tourism, and in this case I want to basically filter it and bring it down to travel. So here's what I do. What I do is I click over here, and then I put a space. I write in caps, I write and, which is basically something called as a Boolean search. So in case you are not aware of Boolean search, you can simply Google it, find out details. Maybe I will do a Tuesday talk on that as well. So and with a separate session, because that requires a little more detailing as well. But in this case, I'll show you simple parameters that you can use to make your life easy. Okay, so I put Singapore, and then I use the word and then I say I want to know about travel. So let's look at travel, and when I say that and I click on it, I get Singapore and travel related news, and everything is related to Singapore and travel related news in May 2019. Okay, this is not 2020, but in May 2019. and I basically get a gist of all the news that actually that hit the Indian news online news space. And this is one way that you can actually monitor any brand. So let's look at, if we were focusing on a country like, let's shift the country now. Let's shift the timeline. Let me go to custom range. Um, let's look at January. Okay, so I'm going to shift to January first. Sorry, just a second. I'm going to shift to January. It's first, last date 31st of January. Right. I'm going to hit go. And as you can see over here, this is all the news related to Singapore and travel in the month of January 2020. You will not get a single news piece from a different month. And that's the beauty of doing advanced Google search. It helps drastically because you get an idea about any particular country, that's everything that's happening related to travel, related to tourists. So let's look at tourists. If you think that travel is not really relevant, so let's look at tourists. Okay, so I'm going to just type tourists. Always remember that every time you use this, you need to use and as a parameter. There are parameters like and, there's parameter like or, so basically you use a combination of all of this. And there are slightly more. I'm going to share all of those with you as well. So as you can see over here, you're looking at, so this particular news, when I just have a quick look at it, I'm looking for the word Singapore in an article. I'm looking to make sure that that particular article has got the word travel in it, and it also has the word tourist in it. That's what this particular search means. It means Singapore and travel and tourists. What I filtered it with using my advanced search tools over here, provided I have actually changed to google.co.in, is that I've actually made it a country, India, and then I've actually made sure that the timeline is Jan 2020 to 31st Jan 2020. So that's basically the timeline. And I basically get a gist of all the articles that are covered in the Indian media about Singapore and travel and tourism. Okay, so that's basically what I have, and it's shortlisted pretty much like you can say about 10,000 articles or a million articles, and it's brought together into what exactly I want. And that's the beauty of using Google Advanced Search. So this is one of the hacks that actually saved me a lot of time, right? So what I did after that, so how do you basically make sure that you don't actually have to browse on a regular basis, right? So you don't want to, come online every day, put up this particular search, and then just go back. Here's the trick. What you can do is, after you basically built up this entire structure, okay, once you've built this entire structure, what you can do is just head over down at the bottom, and you can see over here there is create an alert. Okay, what this does is it allows you, so I'm just clicking on create an alert. You need to be logged in, you need to have a Gmail account for this. Okay, so what it does is it actually gives you an alert, and before you hit create an alert, you need to look at show options. I click on show options, and it tells me how often do I want to see it. And it's currently showing at most once a day. I basically switch to as it happens because I want to know everything when it happens. When the news is published, I need to be able to get the information. So that's what I do. I look at as it happens. And then after that, I look at sources, which I say news. Yes, news, yes. But I also want, if there is a video out there that comes across, I also want to know if there is any kind of discussion out there that's happening about Singapore and travel and tourism. I need to know all of that. And I need blogs. I don't want web. The reason I don't want web is because if I do choose web, then I basically get every single travel operator who is kind of pushing their travel packages. I don't want that at all. What I want is blogs. What I want is news. What I want is video, or what I want is discussion. I don't. There's no connection between books and finance here. I'm not interested in books and finance, but the rest of it is something I want. So I don't basically select automatic. It's very easy to select automatic, and then you get bombarded with emails which are totally irrelevant for you as a marketer, because as a marketer your goal is to build a brand so that you can start selling, right? And you can dissect your competitors and stuff like that. So what you can do, and then you can select language as English. A region, so region you can select, obviously you can select India here. and how many. So it says only the best results, and I would say all results. I want pretty much all the results. And then you can see a gist of, and then you can say deliver to which email address, and I've put my email address there. And then it shows you saying that, okay, these are the kind of articles that you would more likely get, where Singapore is mentioned, travel is mentioned, tourist is mentioned, and that's fine, right? So these are the kind of articles that you certainly would require. Like, for example, where you can see that there is an article that's recently come up: when we travel again, 4 must-dos in Singapore for foodies. Now, for as somebody who is monitoring Singapore tourism, this is something that I'm very interested in. I want to know what Singapore tourism is doing. So this is an easier way to make sure that you can keep track of everything that's happening about any brand under the sun. So it's not necessary that it's got to be only this particular exercise. You can actually track anyone. Okay, and every time, whenever there's a news article, there is going to be an email sent across to you. In most cases, you'll be having like 2 to 3 links, or maybe like 5 links, maybe like 6 links, and every time it basically keeps sending you, bombarding you with articles as and when some competitor or the other is doing something. That's basically what you want is immediate information about what's happening on your competitors without actually doing it manually, right? So that's what this thing is about. It's about, and this is how you use Google Alerts. And this is slightly advanced because you can actually, if you were to basically look at or analyze coverages over the past 1 year, and try to analyze how many times a brand has been mentioned, how many times a brand has come up online or being spoken of, and you will be able to do that as well using this particular method, right? So this is a very interesting way. It's a very faster way of being able to understand how many press releases go of every single brand out there, and how many brands are actually actively involved in a press release that's shot out there on the internet or on offline media. And that's one way that you can actually monitor. All right, so if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. I will from time to time, I will keep looking at the Q&A section, and then we'll evaluate how we can basically answer those as well. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is something that it's primarily a hack. In fact, it's a quick, nifty tool on how do you find influencers. So a lot of people have asked me, how do you find Instagram influencers, right? Or how do you find Twitter influencers? So now let me just get into a profile to give you an idea of how you can find Instagram influencers directly from your Google search. Okay, so this is an interesting trick, and this is also something that you can do with Google search itself. You don't really need a tool for that, but you can do it in Google search. And even more so, even more interesting is that this is for free. Okay, and the other thing that's interesting about it is that you can search for influencers around the world. You don't need to basically be restricted to searching only for India. Okay, so I'm going to show you that. All right, so let's look at, so again, it's the Boolean search itself. It's not very different. This is the same format of search. Okay, so let's look at that. What I'm going to do right now is a look at let's go back to google.com. Okay, so I think I clicked the wrong link by mistake. It's taking me to google.com anyways. Okay, all right, so we are at google.com. All right, and what I can see over here is just this plain site. Now let me just open one influencer, right, just to give you an idea of what we're trying to do. Okay, so I'm just going to open an influencer out there called Ayushi Bangur Instagram channel. Okay, so this is a very crazy method that I actually discovered, and I had someone actually share this online, so I kind of spotted it, and it's right set into my mind. It's very interesting, and I've been doing it in case, if someone asks me saying, okay, I want to basically participate, I want to work with an influencer, and I said like, okay, I can get you tons of them instantly. So let's look at one of these influencers. This is the profile. You can see it because it's written over here, instagram.com Ayushi Bangur. So I'm going to click on that, I'm gonna head over to the profile. Okay, we're waiting for it. It's loading. It's taking some time. Okay, so this is basically her profile. Okay, she's an influencer. She's got about 243,000 followers. Okay, and this is basically her. She gets a huge amount of comments, responses, and she has like tons of likes and stuff like that. But let me show you how you can actually use them. I mean, how do you identify them? How it's easy to identify them as well. So let's look at trying to figure out how you can do that. Okay, so when you're doing something via Google search, what Google does is it has indexed every single page. Okay, so it's indexed every single page on Instagram as well. That's basically the logic of how Google works, right? So if Google has to index every single part of the page, then you can take snippets of that page or pieces of those pages and then put them into the search to be able so that you can discover them, right? So one, because it's tracking every single page. Try to get the logic. Because it's able to track every single page, it has an understanding of all the contents in the page as well, and it has got a data of all the text that's used on the page. So since it's already done that, what you can do right now is try to figure out what are the common elements that would be there across all the influencers. Okay, so let's look at if you are exploring lifestyle influencers. Okay, and as you can see over here with Ayushi Bangur, you can see that in her profile she has it's written over here a honeybee, yes, and then you have one day at a time, a peek at my personal life, lifestyle pics. So if you're looking for lifestyle influencers, you will definitely use the word lifestyle. Okay, in most cases, right? So you might use the word lifestyle. You might use the word, different words as well. You might use fashion or anything of that. And also, if you notice that most of these influencers tend to put their location. So in this case, she's put Mumbai as a location. And there's one more common thing, because this is one thing that differentiates influencers versus everybody else, and that is K followers. If you can see over here, this tiny little word, right? So it's got 243, and then it says K followers. K followers is something that you can also use. Now let's head over to Google search, and I'm going to show you how this turns into some magical method of trying to identify influencers. Okay, so let's head over to Google. So first thing that I'm actually searching for. Now, what I first want to do is I want to search only the Instagram platform. So I need to actually put that in my Google search. So I need to saying, okay, first search Instagram only. Now inside Instagram, then you search these particular parameters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type site, and I'm going to press this, and I'm going to say instagram.com. So what I'm instructing Google is to search instagram.com, and I'm telling Google saying that okay, and I put a space. Now what I want is I want everyone who has used the word lifestyle, right? So I put a space, and the parameter next is lifestyle. Okay, because I'm looking for lifestyle influencers. Now once I've done with this, I can put a space. Okay, so my first parameter is lifestyle, and then I say, okay, this particular profile or these pages that I'm going to target need to have the word lifestyle, and they need to have the city name, right? So I say, and because I need to because I want to make sure that Google basically shows me the people who are having lifestyle and having this particular word and an X word, right? So that's basically the idea. I want to filter it down. So I say lifestyle, and then I say I want this person to have the word Mumbai in it. Yeah, sorry about that. Mumbai in it. So the word Mumbai should be there. And I'm saying that this particular profile or this page needs to have K followers, right? So I'm going to just type that. I'm going to say and I need to basically type K followers. And because there is a space, so as you can see over here, it says K followers, right? So because there is K followers, I need to put an S. Okay, and because there is a space over here, this is one word, this is one word, this is one word, and this is one word. So because there is a space over here, I need to make sure that this space is counted as is, so it becomes a character. Even a space is a character, so becomes K follower. So, and this is who I'm searching for. So I need all pages in Instagram, okay, who have lifestyle, and in their pages who is from Mumbai and has K followers. So that's what I'm looking for. And then I'm going to hit enter. So when I hit enter, Google is going to show me all the pages that are relevant to that. So as you can see over here, it shows you all the pages on Instagram that have got K followers, has the word lifestyle, and also are from Mumbai. So you can see right when when it showed you, it said about 629 results, okay, and it shows you all the pages that have got K followers, okay, have the word lifestyle, and somewhere in that they've got Mumbai also. So that's the beauty of it. So even in this case, you can see over here 58 point whatever K followers, has the word lifestyle, and in Mumbai, right? And you can go down and see all of these, and most of them are going to be bloggers or networks who have a large following, and this is the fastest way that you will be able to kind of identify influencers across the board instantly, right? All of them right away. So just have a look at all the ones who have just shown up on the screen. So 24K followers, 65.7K followers, this person 37.9K followers, Karishma Samar 72.7K followers, and this is who you want, right? So everybody who's so typically K is assigned for everyone who is about 10K. Okay, so that's basically the idea. This is the fastest way to look at it. And then let's say if I go to the second page, you'll be able to find more people, and all of them are from Mumbai. So this method you can also use, let's say Dubai, right? So let's head over to Dubai right now and search for Instagram followers in Dubai who are lifestyle followers and who have similar, kind of K followers. So you can see over here, there's 22.8K followers, travel home lifestyle. You can see Numaish lifestyle. You can see fashion lifestyle, Kate Lebras, Sonal, Emily, and then there is Dubai travel lifestyle, Monica, Dubai blogger, and you can actually see all of these bloggers. So let's go to something even more remote. Let's look at let's go somewhere far off, right? So let's go to which country do you want to go to? Let's look at should we look at Africa maybe? Let's look at let's try Kenya, and let's see if something shows up. Yeah, so you can see over here, right? So Nairobi, Kenya. Okay, 19.1K followers. Posh person, hotel and lifestyle. Susan Kaitani, Wazawazi lifestyle, and you just click on it, open it, have a look at Susan Wong, right? So all of it is something. So this is something that's interesting, right? So you can see all of them all together in one place, and that's the most best part about this particular Google hack that's out there. It's an extremely easy way. You use Boolean search methods into Google, and you will be able to filter out pretty much everything. So tell me how you like this video. If you like this video, so this is basically that's what we're going to cover in today's session. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with people who you feel need to know about it, or you want someone to actually track the news, or track anything, right? So literally you can track anything under the sun with this particular piece of information, and you will be able to make sure that you get the news to you and not the other way around where you have to go hunting for news, right? It kind of cuts down on the timeline, and it helps you basically do your work faster. If you're someone who's like me, wanting to search for influencers at an instant, then this is the fastest way that's out there, even before you approach any particular tool. All right. So if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up. Again, if you haven't subscribed to our page, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're not a part of the Facebook group, just join that Facebook group as well. In case you don't have the link, you can just comment on this video, and we'll have that sent across to you. Okay, or you will find this in the link section, or in the basically the description that we will add over there as well. Okay, So, and also, what I want to do as part of these Tuesday talks is to give you an announcement. So, starting tomorrow, we're going to have the second batch of the 10-day crash course, 10-day digital marketing crash course. And this is something that we've already done a first batch. We had like a good number of participants. I did not really expect that there would be a lot of people interested to actually learn on a 10-day crash course. Also, what we are doing this time is we're going to have this particular crash course, and we'll have the videos available for a month's time. So we're not going to keep it for just about a few like 2 or 3 days, but but if you're going to be a part of this crash course, where this time, because it's a 10-day, and what we've heard as a feedback is that 10 days are not enough. You require more time to actually go through the videos as well, and even after you go through the video, you want to practice it and stuff like that. So we're going to basically extend that for a month in the second batch, based on the feedback that we have received from the first batch. So we're going to extend that for at least a month, and it's going to be, most of the details are going to be the same, but it's going to be a reshoot of the whole thing. It's going to be a redo of the whole thing, because I've seen a lot of people out there who want to basically learn on the go and be supported on the go. So that's what we have. The other thing that I wanted to actually announce was that we've started receiving a lot of applications for the agency side of it. But what we also see is that there are a lot of people out there who do not really have the digital marketing skill to upscale themselves. So what we are also launching as part of Xavier's Academy is that we're going to launch a 3 month internship plus course. It's a joint association where you will be getting free access, or open access to all the videos on Xavier's Academy. Okay, all the videos. Currently, most of them at least. So whatever there is currently on the site, that's all the videos you get access to. Plus, you get an advantage of being a part of an agency as well, and getting the works done, or get practical exposure from the agency as well. And that's something that we are going to that we are have announced just about 2 days back. And now I'm just want to kind of share that with you, in case there are people who are interested in doing a combined and gaining a better experience and getting exposure as well. Then that's basically the course that you should be a part of. All right, so if you want details about that course, you can send it to the number is 96198 95846. In case we will also add that in the description of this particular video, so that you get an idea of that as well. Okay, so that's basically that's what I wanted to kind of share as part of this particular Tuesday talk. This is besides obviously the Google search hacks that we've learned today. I hope you had an exciting realization of things that you could actually do, and I hope this session was meaningful to you. And in case it was, share that in the feedback, share it in the comments. In case you want me to do a particular course on some subject, let me know in the comments as well, and I will basically look at making a course around it.